Good day, everyone. We are here to present our analysis of real-life ethical dilemma using Immanuel Kant's categorical imperative. Our topic is entitled Kantian Ethics and Life-Saving Life. Before we begin, let me introduce the role of our group member, Abesamis as presenter, Abreu as scenario developer, Amigan as Kantian analyst, Kasaklan as Devil's Advocate, Morales as Kantian analyst, Paranyal as creative designer. In this presentation, we're going to talk about Kant's categorical imperative, which sounds fancy, but don't worry, we'll break it down simply. Here's what we aim to do. First, we'll explain that what Kant's categorical imperative actually means. Second, we'll apply it to real moral dilemma that could happen in everyday life. And lastly, we'll show a creative visual that help us to see how Kantian's ethics work. Let's get into it.
Let's start with a real life situation. Imagine this: a woman is hiding in your house. She's scared, maybe even running from someone dangerous. Then suddenly, a man with a weapon shows up at your front door. He looks serious, maybe even threatening, and asks, "Is she there? Or is she here?" Now, you're faced with a tough choice. If you tell the truth, the woman could be found and harmed. If you lie, he might protect her. But you're not being honest. So, here's our big moral question: is it okay to lie to protect someone's life? Most probably, people would probably say yes. But let's see how Kant, a philosopher, would respond to this kind of situation.
Kant's categorical imperative. Immanuel Kant was a German philosopher from the 700s. He believed that we should base morality on feelings or results. Instead, he said he said we should follow moral principles, rules that are right no matter what. His big idea was called the categorical imperative. Think of it like like a test to check if something is morally right. There are three main parts. Number one is universalizability. What if everyone did this? Number two, respect for persons. Are we tra- are we tra- are we treating others with dignity, not just using them? Autonomy. Are we acting in a way that could become a law for everyone? Let's walk through each part using our hiding woman example. Let's start with the first part, universalizability. Kant says we should only do something if we'd be okay with everyone doing it. It's like asking, if this action became a universal rule, we should the world still work? So if you lie to the attacker, you're following this rule. It's okay to lie when you're trying to protect someone. Sounds good at first, right? But what happens if everyone lies? Whenever they think it's helpful, the truth will lose its value. People will trust people will trust each other. Lying will become normal, and that could lead to chaos. So for Kant, lying in this case can't be a universal rule because it leads to a contradiction. If lying were okay for everyone, then no one would believe anyone and lying won't even work. So based on this part, Kant says lying is wrong.
Now let's go for respect for persons. This means we should treat people as human with dignity, not just as tools to get what we want. If you lie to the attacker, you are not treating him as a full person. You are using him to achieve your goal, which is protecting the woman. But if you tell the truth, you might be putting the woman's life in danger, which doesn't feel respectful either. Still, Kant says it's not about what feel right or what will happen. It's about doing the right thing in principle. Even if your goal is to protect someone, lying is still treats the other person, even the attacker, as a tool. That's not respecting them as a moral being. So again, Kant would say, lying is still wrong even with a good intentions. So now is autonomy and moral law. Kant believed that all people are capable of making moral choices. We should act all like we are setting a rule that everyone else should also follow. So we can lie, especially in this situation. I can choose to make exception for ourselves, even in hard moments. When we lie, we are not respecting the idea that everyone should follow the same rules. So once again, lying is not okay. If even if it feels like the right thing to do.
And the next one is final judgment. So what Kant's final answer? Even if a lie could save someone's life, Kant still says it's wrong. Let's break down why. It can be universalized if everyone lie, trust would disappear. And second is it disrespect people we're using someone to get what we want. And it breaks moral autonomy. We're acting like we're above the rules. Can't believe that what makes an action moral is not the outcome but the reason behind it. Doing the right thing means following moral duty, not just what seems convenient. So for Kant, the answer is clear. Even in this extreme situation, you should not lie.
For our creative part, we made a visual that shows the moral conflict. On one on one side of the image, we have a scene where where the person tells the truth, and we see the woman possibly being harmed. On the other side, we have the person lying, and the woman is safe, but the truth was hidden. In the center, we put this quote from Kant: act only according to that maxim, whereby you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law. That means only do something if you think everyone else should also be allowed to do it. This image helps us see how Kant's ethics are based on principles, not feelings or results. It's a powerful way to understand how challenging moral decisions can be.
Let's wrap it all up. Kant's categorical imperative gives us a clear way to think about morality. It's tell us as if your action could be a rule for everyone. Always treat people with dignity and respect. Act as if your choices create moral laws for everyone. In our dilemma, even though most like who people would like to lie to protect someone, can show us a different way of thinking. We reminds us that morality is about doing the right things, not just getting the right result. You might not agree with God's conclusion, and that's okay, but what matters is that He challenges us to think more deeply about our actions and how they affect others. And that's it. Thank you for listening. We hope this helped you to see how philosophy can apply the real life and how hard but important moral choice really are.